Hey students, welcome back to BBA Simplified by Dr. Vinki Sharma. In our marathon class of team building and leadership, today we will be covering Unit 2. This Unit 2 on evaluating team performance will focus on how to evaluate the team performance, how teams set effective goals, how roles and responsibilities are defined within a team, and the various internal and external factors that influence the team building. Let me first introduce you to this Unit 2. It will give us a deeper understanding of what makes a team truly effective. It is not just enough to form a team, its performance must be measured, monitored, and improved. So, in this unit, we will learn how the team performance is evaluated, why goal setting is essential, how the team members get clear roles and responsibilities, and also we'll see the internal and external factors that influence the teamwork. So, in simple words, we can understand here that this unit will teach us how to ensure that a team works smoothly and stays motivated along with achieving its targets on time. So, let's begin. Team performance evaluation means systematically assessing how well a team is performing in terms of task completion, collaboration, quality of work, and even the results. So, this here we will try to answer the questions like: is the team meeting its goals? Are members working well together? Are there any problems or conflicts? Or maybe what improvements are needed for a better team performance? And this evaluation will help managers understand whether the team is moving in the right direction or whether it needs support, training, or restructure. For example, let's say that there is a sales team and it is evaluated based on the number of leads generated, conversations rate, communication with customers, and the achievement of monthly targets. Similarly, when we talk about maybe a school event team, it might be evaluated on planning, coordination, and how the event was executed. So there are different factors by which we evaluate the performance of the team. Now, when we talk about the purpose of why the team performance to be evaluated, so that we can identify the strength of the team members, we can detect the weakness and start working over them, to improve their coordination, to increase their productivity, enhance the morale of the team members, and also to look forward for the alignment of the work with the organizational goal. Now, the question comes, why do we need to evaluate the team performance? Because evaluating team performance is actually very important because it gives a clear picture of how well the team is functioning. So, the first factor that gives us the answer of this question is that it ensures accountability. We see that every member is performing, but here, when every member knows their responsibility, then it is easy to ensure their accountability. Then we say that it helps in identifying the training needs, which is to identify their strengths and weaknesses. So, action can be taken. Then it improves decision making, because when the team members they all work together, then the decision making becomes better. It detects conflict communication issues, the gaps that are generally seen in the communication that can be identified early. It helps in resource allocation. All the resources are allocated to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of these resources. It enhances individual and team productivity. And finally, it builds a culture of continuous improvement. So we see that we are improving the productivity through regular monitoring. It also helps in appraisals and rewards, motivating the teams to perform better. So, for example, that maybe in a hospital, a nursing team is evaluated on what factors? On emergency response time, maybe on accuracy in medication, and the communication with the doctor. So, this evaluation that we are doing will ensure that the patient safeties are taken care of and also the smooth functioning of the hospital. Now let's look at the tools for evaluating the team performance. To evaluate their team performance effectively, organization use different tools and methods. Some of the commonly used methods include performance appraisal forms. So here they are used to assess each member's contribution in the organization's goal achievement. Then there is 360-degree feedback. Here the feedback is taken from the peers, supervisors, subordinates, and even the customers. So all the stakeholders' feedback is taken, basis which the evaluation is done. Another method is balance scorecard. Here we measure the performance across the different areas. Those areas could be productivity, learning, customer satisfaction, and then the scores are given on to them. Then another method is KPI measured. KPI is key performance indicators. Here we measure the specific indicators. Those could be maybe task completion, quality, or target achievement. And on the basis of those indicators, we measure the performance. Then there is team observation report, wherein the entire team they keep on their performance is observed and a report is prepared. Basis which the evaluation is then further made. Then next method is peer evaluation, where the team members they evaluate each other's effort and the cooperation. Then there are self-assessment surveys where the employees themselves have to assess their performances. A survey is given to them basis their assessment. Then the manager assesses it and the entire points are added further. And finally, on the project results outcome. So if the outcomes and results were achieved well on time and in a better way, then the performance is considered to be a good performance. Let's take an example here. We'll take an example of a IT company like there is Infosys or TCS. They are majorly assessing the performance on the basis of project results and outcomes. So there the project teams, they also use KPIs, right? Like maybe bug fixing, speed, coding efficiency, and deadline adherence to evaluate the performance of those team members. Now let's understand what exactly KPI indicators could be for the sake of evaluating the performance. These are, of course, the measurable indicators that help assess how effectively a team is achieving its goals. The very first KPI include goal achievement rate, which means that are the team goals met on time or not, and what is its rate, which is generally calculated into percentage. Then is task completion time, how much time is the team taking to complete the task, and basis the time taken their performance is evaluated. Then is the quality of work, are the tasks completed without any errors? If yes, then their KPI is given a higher scores. Then there are communication efficiency, which is information flowing smoothly within the teams or not. If there is a gap in the information flow, that means the team is not performing well. Then there are attendance and participation, which is of course talking about the presence of the team members and the level of participation in the completion of the task. Then is customer satisfaction, which is applicable for majorly service based teams. So they look at the level of satisfaction of the customers, basis which the team's performance is evaluated. Then the innovation levels or the problem solving is also included here, right? It is the team coming up with the new ideas and how well are they solving their problems. And finally, there is collaboration and synergy. Are the team members working in collaboration and are they able to create a synergy? Synergy means coming out with something extra than the exact sum, right? So these are the various indicators which are used to evaluate the performance of the employees. Let's take an example again here. Let's say that there is a customer support team and they track the KPIs that would include call resolution time, maybe the customer satisfaction rating, and the number of issues resolved per day. So these indicators will help the managers understand that which areas needs the improvement and which members require the support or maybe the training programs. Where it is seen that team performance is not a one time achievement, it is a continuous process of improvement, learning, and adjustment. So, this continuous improvement here means regularly reviewing how the team works and finding the ways to do the things better. So some ways by which the team achieve the continuous improvement include conducting regular feedback meetings. These regular feedback meetings are the ones where members discuss what went well and what did not. Then are the reviewing targets frequently. So here they review their goals and progress every week or maybe every month. Then is using the performance dashboards through the ERP system wherein they track the major KPIs. Then encouraging the team reflection where members they openly analyze their performance and keep on encouraging the team members. Then next is rewarding the good performance. If there are high performance members, then they need to be rewarded. And then identifying and solving the performance barriers where we could see that the need for providing the training and support to overcome the weaknesses. For example, there is a digital marketing team at a company like Zomato, let's say. They review their social media campaigns weekly. They analyze what post worked, which did not work, and how the engagement can be improved. So this regular review helps them to perform better each time. Now let's come on to the second part of this unit, which is goal setting for the teams. It is one of the most important steps for achieving the effective team performance. The goals are actually a roadmap. They guide the team, they give direction, they help in planning, and they also keep everyone focused. So when I say that they help as a guide, they guide the team's direction, effort, as well as the motivation of the team members. There are importance for goal setting. Why do we actually need to set the goals? But before that, you also need to understand that the clear goal that we talk about, it should often it is seen that without the clear goals, team members they often lose their direction, they waste time, there are duplicate efforts, they face conflicts, and there could be some underperformance also. So therefore setting the meaningful goals is important to ensure that the team knows exactly what they are trying to achieve and how success will be measured finally. So when we try to understand that why it is important to set the goals, there are certain factors that help us to, or the benefits that will help us to know the importance of goal setting. One, it provides clarity and focus. The team members they know what needs to be achieved. Then is it improves the planning as well as coordination. So it makes the coordination better where tasks are divided logically among the team members. It also enhances the motivation and commitment among the team members because clear goals they push the members to perform better. Then it enables the performance measurement. Of course, you can track the performance of the team members. If the team is meeting the expectation, that means they are going on a right track. Then it helps in allocating the responsibilities. All the team members are given their set of responsibilities and roles to perform, and so it lets the team members to perform and feel accountable for their work. And finally, it helps in ensuring the team alignment with the organizational objectives. So these organizational objectives are met when the team members goals are also aligned with the organizational objective. They are strongly committed and the goals are defined, members work more responsibly. Let me take an example of a college event team here. So what do? They set a goal. So they organize the annual fest, let's say within 30 days, wherein they need to have 10 sponsors and a budget limit, right? So there is a clear goal that will help them assign the task to track the progress and evaluate the success, because they know that what is the time duration on which for which the event is going to be organized, how many sponsors do they need to have, and what is the limit of budget they have. So when there is these clear roles and responsibilities and clarity of goals are there, then it becomes easy to divide the work according to the strength of the people. Now there is a term called smart goals. This term should always, or the organization should actually set these smart goals always, right? Why do we need to do that? So that we can ensure the clarity and effectiveness. What does this SMART stands for? Here, S stands for specific, which means that the goals must be clear and well defined. M stands for measurable, meaning that there should be ways to measure the progress of the goal. A stands for achievable, which means that the goal should be realistic and within the team's ability. R stands for realistic and relevant. Here we say that the goal should align with the overall objective of the organization. So it should be a relevant goal. And T stands for time bound. There must be a clear deadline in order to achieve that goal. For example, when we want to improve the customer service rating from, let's say, 4 to 4.6, that too within 3 months by reducing the response time. So here we see that we have a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and a time bound goal. Right. So what we are doing is we are increasing the customer satisfaction score by, let's say, 80% to 92%. अब हमें जो 80% का satisfaction rate हमारा आ रहा था उसको 92% पे लेके जाना है. कब तक लेके जाना है? विद इन 6 मंथ्स. सो अभी यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं कि हमारा जो गोल है वो बिल्कुल स्पेसिफिक है, विच इज टू इंक्रीज द कस्टमर सेटिस्फैक्शन. मेजरेबल है क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि मुझे 80 के ऊपर काम करना है. अचीवेबल है क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा टारगेट नहीं दिया है, 180% से 200 नहीं दिया, इट इज ओनली 92%. रियलिस्टिक है, अचीवेबल है और टाइम बाउंड है क्योंकि हमें पता है कि हमें 6 महीने में इस काम को करना है. So this goal is actually very, very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. This helps in making it easy to track as well as to achieve. Now let's look at the types of team goals. These team works with the different kind of goals that depends on their nature, expertise, or the purpose. So what are the different types of the teams? We will understand them one by one. The first type is the task goals. These goals relate to completing a specific job or a project, like completing a marketing report by Friday. So you're given a task that is to be done by Friday. Next goals are process goals. These focus on improving how the team works. So we are improving the team operations and the communication. By improving the communication and reducing the, let's say, meetings for 5 per week to 2, right? अब communication improve करना है तो हम बहुत सारी meetings लेते थे, हम क्या करते हैं, हम उसको reduce करके 5 से 2 per week कर देते हैं, so that we are also able to improve the operations. Then is the learning goal. These focus on improving the skills and the knowledge. For example, team members, they may learn new software or maybe they may go attend new training program. Then next or the last type of goal team are the performance goals. These are related to productivity and efficiency, like increasing the monthly sales by 15%. So understanding these types of goals, they help the team create a balanced plan for improvement and of course, the success of the organization's goal achievement. Now, there are various steps in goal setting. The setting the goals is actually a structured process. Teams do not randomly decide that what they want to achieve. So there is a systematic way to set these meaningful and effective goals. We will look at these steps one by one. The very first step that is taken up at the time of setting the team goal is analyze the team capability. Actually, क्या capability है मेरे team members की? Wherein we understand the strengths, weaknesses, and capacity of the team members. Next step, after having the analysis of the team capability, we move on to identifying the organizational priorities. So we see that whatever goals we are setting, they must support the larger mission ultimately, right? Then we move on to setting these SMART goals, which should be clear, measurable, and time based. This step actually provides the base for the team members to start working on their goal. Once the goal is set, then we move on to assigning the responsibilities to each of the team members. So there each member, they know that what part they will play in order to achieve their goal. Then the fifth step is creating the action plan. This action plan means break the goals into smaller tasks and the timelines and then start working onto it. When they start working onto it, then there is a need to monitor the progress regularly. So we need to check if the team is on track or not. And finally, we go for review and we evaluate the results. We do modify the goals if the challenges arise during the process and if the performance improves faster, right? Let's understand it with an example. There is a customer support team. They set a goal to reduce the complaint resolution time. So here the team would divide the task, it would monitor it daily and prepare the reports, and then finally it will make the adjustments, it will adjust the workload as needed. So this systematic approach is doing what? It is ensuring that the goals are met effectively. Coming on to the third part of the unit. Now that the team has its goal, the next important step is to clearly define the roles and responsibilities for every team member. Role definition means clarifying who will do what and within the team. So we see that a team performs well only when each member knows their tasks, their duties, and their responsibilities. This ultimately helps avoid the confusion, conflict, duplication of work, and the delays. For example, in a college annual fest team, when that we had taken an example earlier also, so we understand that one should handle the sponsorship, one manager should one manages the stage arrangements, one can look after the publicity, one can handle the hospitality. So when these roles are defined clearly, the event, you will see that it would run smoothly without any overlap or maybe any miscommunications. Clear roles and responsibilities are crucial for the functioning of any team, that we understand. So we understand that it is important to have the clear roles. Why? Again, we will try to answer this question. If we have clear rules, it will of course prevent the duplication of work because everyone know their areas of responsibility. It will further help in avoiding the confusions or conflicts. The members would understand that what is expected from them, so there would be no confusions as such. It helps in improving the time management. The work that is assigned to everybody would be completed within the time frame. It also ensures the accountability. So if someone goes wrong, it is easy to identify the responsible area and then to take the corrective measures. It enhances the coordination. All the team members are able to work together in coordination because there are no confusions or conflicts. And finally, we say that it helps the team members understand the expectations as well, so they all know that what is expected out of them. So if there is a team, if there is a person who is given a responsibility of sponsorship, then the expectation is that he should get minimum 10 sponsors because that is what the goal was set for. So the expectation is clearly understood here. We'll see various components of role clarity. They help actually define that what each member must do. So the first component is the role identity. Here, the specific task and duties associated with that role are taken care of. So what task the role will cover is role identity. Then is role expectation. So there are standards of behaviors and performances that are generally expected from the members. So what performance is expected is role expectation. Then the role responsibilities, wherein clear responsibilities that the member is accountable for is taken care of. So here we are talking about accountability and deliverables, and that is role responsibility. And then there is role authority, which means that what decisions the member can make and what permissions they need to take from the higher authorities. So rights and the decision making power is nothing but the role authority. Let's now understand the techniques of role assignment. Organizations, they use several structures, techniques to assign the roles effectively. We will be talking about some popular ones, like one is the RACI matrix, where R stands for responsible, A is accountable, C is consulted, and I is informed. This method clearly shows that who is doing the work, who is accountable, who needs to be consulted and who must be updated. Then the second technique is job description sheet. It is a written document that explains the duties, required skills, and expectations of each team member performing the task. The next one is the task delegation chart. It is a visual chart that shows that how the work is divided and who is reporting to whom or who is responsible for what. Then the next one is skill mapping. We match the task with the members' strengths and expertise. So this mapping helps in assigning the roles in a more effective manner. Then our team role workshops. Here the interactive sessions are conducted to discuss the abilities and in order to assign the tasks accordingly. And then finally, there are weekly task allocation meetings, and here the team meets weekly to clarify their responsibilities as well as their upcoming tasks. So, for example, in the IT companies like Infosys, these role assignments they depend on the skill mapping. Here, the developers, testers, designers, and the project managers they are given the task based on their expertise. We see that there are some common team roles, so let's understand them, because most team that consist of several standard roles, so that help the team functions effectively. The first role is a team leader. Generally we see that there is one person who guides the entire team, coordinates the task and motivates the member, so he's called a team leader. Then there are coordinator, whose role is to ensure the smooth communication between the team members. There are facilitators who help resolve any conflict and also to maintain the harmony among the team members. There are researchers whose role is to collect and analyze the information required for the tasks given to them. There are timekeepers who keep a track of the time deadlines and they ensure that all the task is completed within the given time frame. There are implementers who execute the actual work and meets the deadlines. There are evaluators, they review the team progress and also identify the areas for improvement. There are communicators who handle the communication within the team and with external stakeholders as well. And finally, there are recorders or documenters whose task is to maintain all the kinds of records, meeting notes, and the project documentation. So, for example, let's say that in a research project team, there is one person who will collect the data, one will write the report, one would present the finding, and maybe one will check the final work. So, these roles help divide the task efficiently. Now, let's move on to the next aspect of this unit, which is internal factors that affect the team building. Team building actually does not happen in isolation. There are several internal factors within the organization that influence how well a team works. So, these internal factors include the leadership style, where whether the leader is a supportive leader who encourages the teamwork, or maybe an authoritarian leader who may create a fear or a stress among the team members. Then the next factor could be the organizational culture. A positive culture, of course, would promote the collaboration. On the other hand, a negative culture will lead to conflict. Next factor is communication channels or communication systems. If there is a poor communication, it would lead to misunderstanding. And if the communication is clear, it will improve the coordination. The next factor is the team structure. We see that if the team has a well defined structure, then the roles are also well defined and the performance is always better. The next internal factor is the resource availability. The availability of the resources like money, tool, information, it affects the team efficiency. In case of lack of resources, this efficiency would go down. Next is employee attitude, the commitment of the team members, the positive members. So they improve the performance. And on the other hand, if there are demotivated members, they would slow down the entire team performance. Then is the motivation levels. Again, if the employees are highly motivated, the performance of the team is on an efficient side. and vice versa. And the last one is conflicts and relationships. These internal conflicts, which includes misunderstanding, maybe some ego clashes, and the differences in the personality of the team members, it does affect the teamwork. So, for example, there is a school staff team with open communication, and they also see a supportive leadership that in order to coordinate any of the events smoothly. But if we see that in the negative environment, the same team, even a simple task is given to them, that would become the difficult. Why? Due to the conflict and mistrust among the team members. Coming on to external factors, here we also need to understand that team building is not only influenced by the internal factors, maybe leadership or communication. There are also several external factors which come from the outside the organization, and these can strongly affect how well a team perform. So let's look at these major external factors one by one. The first is the economic condition. If the market is doing well, teams feel secure and motivated. But during recession, the fear of losing the job can reduce the team morale. Next is the technology changes. So team must quickly adapt to the new technologies. For example, schools shifting to online classes, they require teachers to learn the digital tools rapidly. Then there are some government regulations or policies like labor laws, safety rules, industry regulations. They may influence the way the teams work. Next is the market competition. So, when the competition is high, teams face the pressure to perform better and faster. There are customer expectations. Of course, team must adjust their work based on the customer demands, the trends, and the feedbacks given by the customers. Another factor is social cultural trends, which talks about different cultural background of the team members that may affect the communication and behavior of the team. Then is globalization. We see today that teams often work across the countries, so they require cultural awareness and flexibility as well. And finally, we see a remote working trend where people are not physically meeting, which is in itself a challenge working in the remote teamwork culture. For example, there is a multinational IT company that works with US and UK clients. So they need to adapt to the time zones first, then the differences, the foreign regulations, and also the customer expectations. So all these factors are actually going to affect the team functioning. Now, let's collaborate both internal and external factors together because they actually both of them shape how a team works and perform. So how these factors impact the team building, let's look at that. First, of course, is the team morale, which means that if we see that there is positive leadership and a good work culture, it will increase the team spirit, while the negative factor would reduce the motivation. Next is productivity, the availability of resources, technology, and support. It would directly affect how fast and efficiently the team would work. Then there are conflict levels. We understand that poor communication or the differences in the cultural backgrounds, it may create misunderstanding. Then our work relationships. If there is a healthy environment, it would strengthen the trust. And if there is a toxic environment, it would weaken the teamwork. Then the adaptability. External changes such as a new technology is coming up or competition, it would push the teams to adapt quickly. Next one is innovation. Supportive leaders and flexible culture would always encourage the new ideas, creativity, and innovation. Then there are team performance outcomes. If the goals are set clearly and when the internal and external factors they are aligned, then the team performance outcome or the goals are achieved easily. As we saw that during COVID-19, there were many teams that shifted from online from physical working to online working. So the teams that had good communication, they had technology access and the supportive leaders, they adapted very smoothly to that change, while others had to struggle. Having finished this unit 2, let's quickly revise everything we have learned in this unit. We have understood that there is evaluating, we do evaluate the team performances, wherein we learned that how the teams are assessed using different methods like KPI, 360-degree feedback, balance scorecards, performance indicators, also like quality, communication, and productivity. Next, we had understood and learned about goal setting. We understood that the importance of setting these smart goals is there. We also studied the types of goals that could be task, process, learning, and performance of the goals. Then we understood the roles and responsibilities. Teams perform best when the roles are clear. The techniques like RACI matrix and job description help assign the roles effectively. Then finally, we have understood the internal factors and the external factors, where internal factors include leadership, culture, communication, etc., that directly influence the team functioning. And the external factors include economic condition, competition, customer expectations. They also impact the team building. So, together, these concepts have actually helped us understand that how to create a strong team, an efficient team, and motivated teams inside any of the organization. Now, let's look at the important exam questions. These are the short questions that have been coming in the examinations in the previous years. What is team performance evaluation? Define SMART goals. What is role clarity? And mention internal factors affecting the team building. The long questions include explain the process of evaluating the team performance, discuss the importance of goal setting and team building, what are the roles and responsibilities of team members, and explain internal and external factors affecting the team building. I hope this unit is clearly understood by you. Thank you for learning with BBA Simplified by Dr. Vinki Sharma. In the next unit, we will be covering Unit 3, that is leadership. Do like, share, and subscribe for more marathon classes. Thank you so much for watching.